Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is the Monday painting video. Even though you'll be seeing this on the Friday, because a lot of things happened this week. What is the Monday painting video? What's it all about? Well, the Monday painting video is essentially a pile of shame painting video, but the model or models in question are voted on by you guys, my viewers, from last week's Weekly Wednesday, which is a weekly Q&A. In that video, I show you guys a host of models, and you guys vote on what you want me to paint for Monday's painting video. In the event of a tie, I do a dice roll. So for all my regulars here, guys, I would love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. Right, so the vote was for any sister or any NIDs. Now there was 2 sister units in there and 2 NID units in there. So I've just got one of each here. 1 to 3 is sister, 4 to 6 is the NIDs. So NIDs. So I'm going to then break them up and see which one we're doing. Right, so 1 to 3 is the Barbagons, 4 to 6 is the Lictor. Actually I have 2 Lictors. Oh, so another 4. So the Lictors are going to be painted up for today. Now this Lictor here is actually a 10th edition Lictor, which I'm going to focus more on this guy on camera today, because the other guy I think I've already done on camera, and he's the older version. Yeah, he's the older version, which is still a very cool model, but he's not as good as this one, I don't think. I think they really pushed it out of the park with this guy. There's definitely a base size difference, and there's definitely a difference in the sculpt itself. So anyway, I'm going to set up. Right, so before someone says to me, oh, you can't play with this guy because he's on a smaller size base. And when you buy the model, the base that comes on it, you can play with it on that base because that's the base it originally came on. Now, if you want to be, get it right, you can rebase it. But what I would do eventually, this is what you can do as well, is I'll just get one of these bases and just glue him straight onto that base, and then just put the gravel on as normal. I did it with my first one Space Marine. Some of them they come on 25mm bases, and then I bought 32mm bases, and they'll just stick them, glue them straight to the 32mm bases. It gives them a bit more height as well, especially with these guys, because there's a clear difference in the height of the two of them. Yeah, it's not noticeable, but the head on this one is slightly higher than the other one. But anyway, first I'm going to start with my normal Tyranid colours, Talazar blue. And what I'm going to do with this paint is, and the farmer's come here, of course he has, because there was a 6 cattle out earlier on. Let's find some more cattle up the road. So I'm going to try and carry on with him, even though he's in the background there. So what I'm going to do with this, first of all, I'm going to get all of the carapace on the back of them. I say them because I'm going to do the other one as well at the same time. But the carapace on this one, on his head especially, is different to this one, which is going to be very nice. And on the legs, these bits up here, just these bits. And I think that's going to be about it. But I'm going to crack on with that. So some of these towels as well. Right, so now I'm going to come in with some Doomfire Magenta. What I want to get on this guy is all of his skinny type areas, all like the bits that I think are skin. Now, I'm actually doing this very quick because I want the Talazar blue still to be wet. So when I do bring it up, it sort of wet blends together and gives me a nice purpley colour. See how I've got it there just by the tail, gives me a nice little purpley colour. I find when you're painting Tyranids, that's very, very good because they're all organic, supposed to be, living organisms. So when you have colours flow like from the blue to the purple to the pink like that, I think it looks more natural. And one thing that's really cool with the Tyranids as well, I think, is where I've got the two different sculpts. When they make planetfall, they'll be, say, using this type of Lictor. Okay, they're doing what they're doing. All of a sudden, they can't get past a certain sort of defences. So what they do is they evolve the Lictor into something else that's more killing. So I think having the two different sculpts on the table at the same time looks absolutely amazing. But yeah, I do actually really enjoy painting Tyranids. I can't wait to have them finished and on the table. Now I do have enough to put 2,000 point list on the table. There's a few of the smaller things I need to just to finish off doing. I'm going to crack on and get all of these skin areas all in here, all around his head here. There's a prime example of that purple. It's coming out really purpley colour, not a strong reddy pink colour, but a purpley colour. But I'm going to crack on with that. Right, so now I'm going to come with some Eldari Emerald contrast paint. Again, you can still see it's shiny, so it's still wet. And what I'm going to do with this lovely colour, I want to get all of these little spikes. I want to get his tendrils definitely. So that really stands out on him, because that is a point of interest on the face. His claws on his fingers. Again, I want to try and get any bits of little bits of white coming through from the underspray, where the contrast paint has pulled away from it, or even where I've missed it. If I get it with the green, it just stands out even more. All of this bit in here. Now I want to do his tentacles again, but ready for the next stage. So it's wet blend, so I can wet blend another colour into it. So all these bits up here is what I'm going to get. Bits on his tail, his claws on the back of him, his knee claws, all of those sorts of things. I want to leave his hoofs alone, because I'm going to come with a different contrast paint for those. So I'm going to crack on and do him. Right, so now I'm going to come in with some moot green. And yeah, Eldari Emerald is still a little bit wet. I'm going to water this down on the wet palette. And I want to come in and just sort of layer it a little bit across the top of his tentacles. The idea is, it's still wet, so it's wet blending all together, but the tentacles the contrast paint should go into the deepest recess because it's heavier. Or someone says to me, oh, it's not heavier. It does go into the deepest recesses because it is heavier than normal paint. So we get the ends of the tentacles. So as that dries, let's get the tips of the top as well. As that dries, that's going to give me a nice tentacle like sorry, it's going to be a nice effect on tentacles. We get the tips of the nails as well. Now I could wait for this to dry and then do that, but it won't be the same sort of effect. It'll look nice, but it won't be the same. It's going to be a bit of a, it's not a pain in the arse thing to do, but it's just, for me, I think it's going to look better doing it this way now. It's a little bit tedious. Just running it along those little inner spikes. Now it does look a bit weird because it's still wet. We'll do the same with the other guy. Now I'm going to come in with some rattling grime. Now I did this recently on a model for horns, and I can't remember which model it was, but it looked absolutely amazing. Let's give you a quick look at how those claws are looking. It's still a little bit wet, but it's really starting to get the effect that I want. Especially on this one at the back here, you can see it just mixing in between the two. The tentacles look actually amazing as well. But the rattling grime, I'm going to knock the camera first. The rattling grime, I'm going to do the hoofs with. It doesn't matter if I push it off, or if I push the excess onto the stones. That's what it's going to give me like that. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, so the rattling grime is giving you the brown shade, but it's giving you like a bone look as well. That's going to be annoying, that little piece on there. But I'll do that afterwards, there's no issue. Right, so as we can see, I'll actually whack some silver onto that little bit of ruin there. Oh, there's a horrible bit there that I've missed. Damn it. I'll have to come back in and grab that. So anything I don't like about contrast paint, and even a little bit in there as well, looks like I've missed. Sometimes when you're painting contrast paint, it will run away from the bit that you want it to stay into. But that bit there, definitely, that's me. That's missed that. It's not a big issue. I come and get that afterwards. But a bit like what I'm talking about is, like on his claw here, it's not stayed where I want it to stay. And one thing I've noticed about this old resin, this is a fine cast resin model, there's a lot of nooks and nooks and crooks to push the paint into. I'm not totally happy with this guy, so I'm not even going to bother showing him off. The green looks good, but the rest of it looks a bit shit to me. This guy, apart from that bit that I missed there, which I'm going to have to come in and get now, this guy is essentially battle ready. Now, there's a little bit on top of his head there that seems to have been missed. It's the only thing I don't like about contrast paint. But that's not a big issue, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it beyond battle ready standard. What that means is it's good enough to put on the table now, except for that little bit. But what I'm going to do now is take it beyond battle ready standards, which could be a wash, could be contrast paint, could be using layer paint, like this layer paint, could be you're using technical paint, dry paint. You know, you could even come with some metallics. You could basically, you're taking beyond to give it a bit more spruce up. What I'm going to do is the same trick I do with all this Tyranid paint. Come with some extremely skull layer paint, and I'm going to put some on a brush it onto my tissue, and hopefully this isn't too wet in the areas that I want to get it. Make sure there's not too much paint on the brush. I'm going to flick it across and just give it a dry brush. That's dry. So it looks a bit wet to me. What this does as well is, if it is still a little bit wet here and there, it is going to blend it in nicely, but I don't really want to be hitting the bits too wet. Like that bit in there. Let's see, in there's a little bit wet, so I'm going to try and avoid that bit as much as I can. Let's get across. Definitely want to get those tentacles. Make them stand out a bit more. Chest still looks a little bit wet, but I should be able to get all right on there. This leg is totally wet. So I'll just give that a quick dry brush over here. Again, this arm still looks wet, So does that. I must say, this little bit of green muscle here is actually better on the old one than it is on the new one. Now that little bit that looks like, look, the little bit that I missed there, or that I pulled away from, when I'm coming in with the screaming skull, it will just hide it and get rid of it. Tail still looks a little bit wet. Maybe I didn't wait long enough. It's not the end of the world, because the screaming skull is a layer paint, so it will go on bright and dull itself down. So even if it does wet blend a little bit, it will just give me some very unique colours. But at the same time saying it, it will, look at that, still some green coming off there. I have to really go for this body and legs. Far too much screaming skull still on the brush. It's actually not turned out too bad. It's give me a nice bright look in the inside of the leg. That was terrible. Let's just give me a purpley colour on the skin now. On the bit I wanted blue. I really hate when I'm behind, not on time, but behind on a video. Really hate it. I might actually get away with some screaming skull there. Actually, I'm actually winging that quite nice, actually. So I'm going to carry on giving that a dry brush off camera. And here we have him. I think the dry brushes need to dry a little bit more, but it's still looking very, very good. Very simple. I actually find all the Tyranids very simple to paint. It's a four contrast colours, sorry, but I won't really count the rattling grime. But it's 3 contrast paints and the dry brush. Again, that's the screaming skull. Still, I can see it's still shiny. But yeah, I think that's very, very cool, very easy, very nice. There's a few little areas that I can see that I'm not going to point out to you, but I can see, and let me have a look at those and see if I can maybe tidy them up afterwards if I need to, if they look a bit weird. Because it might just be screaming skull where it's not dried properly yet. But yeah, I'm very happy with that, very pleased. I'm not even going to show you the other guy because I don't think the other guy's come out as good. And he's the older one anyway, it doesn't really matter. I've already painted him on the channel once before. So a massive thank you to everyone who voted for, you know, this Monday's painting video, even though it's going up on Friday. It was meant to go up yesterday. I was meant to do it yesterday, Thursday, and go up yesterday, but I actually hurt my back the other week in work, and I just carried on going. And it's only the last few days where I've actually relaxed. My body's gone, nope, you're in pain now, and that's it. So I wasn't able to come over and do anything yesterday, but I'm on the mend now, so that's good news. So I'm glad these guys have done. So massive thank you to everyone that's voted. Sorry about the delay. If you're new to the channel, seeing this for the first time, everyone hit the subscribe button because it costs you absolutely nothing. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. Everyone smash the thumbs up button so it triggers YouTube, share this video with more and more people, which makes this amazing community of you guys grow even more. and it is an amazing community of you guys. Next Monday's painting video will go up on time. There'll be no issues with that at all, because I'm not working this Sunday. Because last week I was working Sunday, the Monday, the Tuesday, and it was such a build up for Christmas. So anyway, massive thank you to all of you. Everyone smash the buttons for me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take it easy, guys.